What is one thing, in your opinion, that is getting harder and harder to afford in Singapore?
Rent,
The car,
normal food, transport,
food,
housing price.
Singapore is one of the most expensive cities in the world. And why it's becoming impossible to afford? Let's find out in Orchard.
I'm an immigrant and I'm a robotics engineer. I always wanted to have a car in the country where I live. Of course, the car is like 5 times or 6 times. Mainly the housing is expensive, I would say, the rental. And then everything else is fine if you are able to well for yourself at the age around 28, 29.
Food is one thing that's very expensive. For example, I eat kopitiam at work. Last time, chicken rice maybe $4. Now it's 6 to 7. Let's say Western food, you can get last time maybe $4 for pasta. Now it's like $10 at my office. Food is something that's a big problem.
Food in general. Back then I used to buy chicken rice for like maybe $2 or $3, but now the prices are hiking up to like even $6, despite like the GST being like 1 or 2% up. I'm a foodie, so like yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Where do you usually buy your food?
Just hawker centers or like down my block.
Now, how has that changed your life?
Yeah, I slowly changed my wish list. Like instead of getting a car, okay, let me get a gadget this year. I'm a gadget freak now instead of an automobile head. So I changed my life in what I want over the year. I have a guilt that it is turning out to be a little bit materialistic, that buying something new every year or every month.
Food will always be on the table, but it's just getting it will be a bit harder per se. Especially like working part-time, the price you can afford gets like smaller and smaller. You're basically working an hour a day to afford just one plate.
As a broke uni student in the past, I have no money to eat. So even buying drink, let's say for class, morning class, I buy one drink can be like $2. But last time secondary school is like $1 for a bottle drink. So impact my life when I went to uni. Because uni is really no money, no time. Always go out, always in school or doing after school activities, then realize that I have no money. Yeah. Go with what I really need over what I really want. So example, I need to eat a proper meal. So maybe I can buy chicken rice. But I don't necessarily need to drink bubble tea. So I don't buy bubble tea. Yeah. I can drink water. I need to drink my teh peng.
Because I'm on scholarship, so I need to balance myself, which means some cut in food, like dining. So actually, it's still manageable, but if I get a lower rent, it will be better.
Do you think it's going to get better or worse in the next 5 years?
Things are getting worse and worse. The world is getting messier sometimes regarding the war. We think that it doesn't affect, but it does affect a bit, some of us.
News and the TV, they all say the rent is going down and down and down, but I don't see it coming, but I look forward to it. Yeah. I do hope groceries, the price can go a little bit down, especially in this region. I find it's quite expensive to afford fruits. Fruit,
Yeah, correct. A lot of people say that fruits are.
Yeah, fruit, yeah, especially fruits. I think maybe for vegetables, we can still get something from Malaysia and it's quite affordable, but for fruit, it's a bit difficult. I don't know why.
Go with what I really need over what I really want.
I feel like it's gonna be worse. The market or like the economy, everything that's happening around the world also, I feel like it's just not helping our situation. But the government low-key like really helps like Singaporeans in whatever way they can. I'm saying from like an overall point of view, I think it might get worse.
It's only gonna get worse. The cost of living is gonna go up, and then now there's problem finding job. A lot of fresh grad. I'm a fresh grad, and it wasn't easy for me to find a job. Cost of living is only gonna go up. Finding a job is also gonna get harder.
What about internship?
Internship can find, but I think a lot of us uni grads is like, why do we need to continue doing internship? I mean, of course, it's to gain experience. A lot of older generation is gonna say like, oh, you need to start from the bottom, you need to gain experience before you work your way to the top. But for us, it's also we need to survive. And honestly, it's not impossible, but it's very hard to survive off internship pay, where you're basically trying to save every single cent you have. Everyone wants the comfort of living. So for us, is yes, even though we understand we need to work our way from the bottom, we also need to live, we need to survive in this economy as well.
If you could make one thing in Singapore cheaper tomorrow, what would it be?
Bubble tea.
Why bubble tea?
Because I drink that a lot often nowadays, every day. I didn't notice that. It is subtly has increased by few cents over the few years. Telling something very practical, rental, I don't think so whether it reduces.
Food and housing, it's a need, it's a necessity. We don't have food, we will die. We don't have a shelter, it's not going to be easy to live. I think necessity shouldn't be priced at such a high price point. Like maybe car is fine, it's okay. Of course, we're all going to complain, yeah, car in Singapore very expensive because of COE. But then it's a want. You don't need a car, you can take public transport.
Transport. I think transport eats up a lot, especially like traveling like far away. It takes up quite a bit. Maybe one day I'm spending about $6.
MRT or bus?
Both. Yeah, but last time I tend to spend maybe like $3 or $2 just traveling around the whole entire Singapore. But now it's $6 just for like 1 or 2 location.
Definitely the rents and the house prices.
Rent. It's just too expensive.
Food.
See, why is it food?
For me, as an athlete, worker, we always need to cup our load to make more energy. So, if example, the food is a bit expensive, so we cannot get better food to regain our stamina.
There's something very invaluable that's worth every penny. What is something that no matter how expensive it gets, it's worth every penny that you pay? Yeah.
Worth every penny. I take Grab everywhere I go. Because taking public transport, to me, I really don't like it. Especially when there's a lot of people. Then I need to stand. Let's say I go from town back to home. I need to stand on the train for 30 minutes. And that is something, to me, I prefer the comfort. So even if it's expensive, I'm still going to spend on Grab. And everyone's going to say something about this. But I will forever spend on Grab transport. Yeah. Over MRT.
What's one thing you have had to cut down on?
Eating out for Grab. Yeah. I'd rather eat at home. Because buying groceries as a bulk and then you keep at home is always cheaper than I buy chicken rice from outside.
Do you cook by yourself?
Sometimes I cook by myself because really it's now got Grab Unlimited. Sometimes got like Grab Unlimited, you need to hit $15 minimum. So if you don't hit $15, you won't get that discount. That is not really worth. So to me, having to spend $15 for every time I eat is a bit too much. So I rather just cook myself. Can control also healthier food choices.
Spending recklessly. Like I really have to think about like my expenses now. Cannot just go around buying whatever I want. I have to like look at the price first. Because earlier I'll be like, oh, I like this, let me just buy it. But now I have to be like, how much does it cost? Oh, okay. Then I'll make decisions. So like I have to really think about what I'm spending my money on.
Different people, different answers. But one thing's for sure, the cost of living is altering how Singapore residents live.